Hi, this is Mrs. Cornitz. In today's lesson, we're going to switch from figuring out how many equal groups are in a given amount to figuring out what size of equal groups are in a given amount. So in our first example, it says to make 5 batches of cookies, you need 10 cups of flour. So what we want to figure out is how many cups of flour are in each batch. And so when we're doing this, we can write a multiplication problem for this. We know that 5 groups times however big those groups are equals 10 cups of flour. Or we can do a division. 10 cups of flour divided by 5 groups equals the size of those groups. And so since this is a basic fact, we can figure out that the missing number is 2. 5 times 2 equals 10. 10 divided by 5 equals 2. So each batch needs 2 cups of flour. So that's a nice problem for us. It has nice, easy numbers for us. So now we're going to look at some problems which are really similar to that, but they're using fractions. They have fractions as factors. Priya's class has adopted 2 equal sections of a highway to keep clean. 2 equal sections. The combined length is 3/4 of a mile. How long is each section? All right, so we can write a multiplication problem here. We have 2 sections. We're not sure how long the sections are, but we know that together they equal 3/4 of a mile. We can also write a division problem for this. 3/4 of a mile divided by 2, because there's 2 sections, equals the length of each one of those sections. So half of 3/4 is 3/8. So each of those sections is 3/8 of a mile. All right. So then let's look at the next example. Lynn's class has also adopted some sections of highway to keep clean. If 1.5 sections, I have this left over from before, sorry. If 1.5 sections are 3/4 of a mile long, how long is each section? So they have 1.5 sections, and that's equal to 3/4 of a mile. So again, we can create our multiplication problems and our division problems. So for multiplying this, 1.5, I'm just going to call it 3/2 because it's easier for thinking. 3/2. And we don't know how big that section is, so we're going to leave that a question mark. 3/2 times whatever that unit is equals 3/4 of a mile. Or I can do 3/4 of a mile divided by 3/2 equals some length. Well, 3/2 times what equals 3/4? Well, my numerator is staying the same, so my numerator is going to remain a 1. And 2 times something equals 4, so my denominator is going to be 2. So each section is 1/2 of a mile. And use that multiplication problem to figure out that in this problem, sections are 1/2 mile long. In this problem, the sections were 3/8 of a mile long. All right, so let's look at our last one. A school has adopted a section of highway to keep clean. If 1/3 of the section, so here's their whole section that they adopted, 1/3 of it equals 3/4 of a mile. How long is this section? All right, so multiplication and division problems again. In this case, we have 3 sections. We can see that we have 3 sections. if I can ever get this to right, 3 sections, and each section is 3/4 of a mile, and that equals the total length altogether, and we don't know what that total length is. That's a question mark for us. Our division problem is that total length divided by 3 equals 3/4. Okay, so I know what 3 times 3/4 is. So 3 times 3/4, so I take my whole number times my numerator, so that equals 9/4. So in this case, 9/4 is their total section of highway they adopted. They had 3 sections that were 3/4 of a mile long, so that total amount is 9/4 of a mile that they got. And so drawing a diagram is still going to be really helpful for us right now as we're kind of feeling our way through this, figuring out what is a good multiplication sentence for it, what is a good division sentence, and then which one is easier to solve, which one makes more sense to you, and then going ahead and solving that.